And the fact that you met him when you were 18, you were so young.
I really, really was. Yeah, but I mean, hey, we're still together. It's our 40th wedding anniversary this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to start dropping hints again. No.
You can go back to the same pub.
No, it's been demolished. They've built houses on it now.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
As you can see, it's the two of us. We are back again, and we're here to answer a few questions. And I've prepared 4 questions to ask my mum, and she's going to tell you a few preferences and stories. So, Mum, are you ready?
I think so.
So the first question is a funny one, and it's an opportunity for my mum to tell a nice story. So, Mum, how did you and Dad meet? How did you meet my father?
It was a very long time ago, obviously. Yes, back in the 1980s. Yes, we were into pub. I was with some girlfriends, a group of us. Bruce was with one of his friends. We got chatting. Then Bruce wanted to get to know me better. So the conversation moved on to horoscopes and signs of the zodiac. I just mentioned that I was Capricorn. And Bruce said, yes, I'm a Capricorn too. Yeah, which is not that much of a coincidence,
It could
really.
happen.
Yeah.
There are 12 or no,
12?
maybe less.
No, 12 signs of the zodiac.
Good.
You're correct, don't worry. And so, yes, but then it just delved a bit deeper, just wanted to know more about me. He asked me when my actual birthday was, so I said it was the 11th of January, to which Bruce replied, me too.
Oh my God.
Yes, it's like, my birthday's 11th of January too. And I thought, that's probably not true.
Surely not.
Yes.
No way.
But actually, we did find out later that, yes, it was true. Yes, so that's how we met. We were chatting at the end of the evening. He asked me out on an actual date. He said, I'd like to ring. Can I have your phone number? And I thought, yeah, absolutely. This is a really nice guy. And then from his back pocket, he pulled out what was like a business card. And I just thought, and bearing in mind that he actually was older, I was 18, he was 23, and I thought, that's a bit smooth. He did later say that it was the only piece of paper he had, but unfortunately at that moment when he pulled this card out, saying he was a photographer, I just thought, not sure. I'll give him the number, which I did. I gave him the right numbers, but just in the wrong order. I just wasn't 100% sure. I just thought that's maybe a bit smooth. And so basically when we got outside, I spoke to one of my girlfriends out there. There was a nice little group of us. And I said, oh, what's he like, Bruce? And they said, oh, he's really nice. And I'm just like, well, that's a shame. I've just given him the wrong number. Now, we did go back. Luckily, we went back the week later and to the same place. Okay. I saw him again. Because obviously without that there'd be no you. And yeah, it was really, really lovely. And then when we did our actual first date, it was really, really nice. Okay. He took me to a pub, a different pub, slightly more upmarket. He borrowed somebody else's car because he had a minivan at the time. So he upgraded a little bit. Obviously out to impress. I'm not quite sure why. We had a lovely meal, and then actually for our wedding anniversary a couple of years ago, we went back to the same pub and had a lovely meal and did have a bit of. I know.
Sounds so romantic.
I know, and it's not really actually romantic, but on this occasion he was. So unless maybe I just dropped enough hints for him to finally think I'd better take her out to the same pub, and yeah, it was really nice. So that is how we met.
Perfect. Yeah. And a couple of questions related to this. Obviously, when he told you that he had the same birthday, did you believe him?
Oh, absolutely not. I just thought it was some cheesy chat-up line. I did actually, when I met his parents, I did sort of slip into the conversation about, when's Bruce's birthday? And his mum said, it's the 11th of January. Like, oh, lovely.
He was telling the truth.
Yes.
He wasn't lying.
Yes. But can I just clarify this, please? He is actually 5 years older, which obviously 18 and 23. So That's good. That's a really nice, a nice dynamic, a nice sort of age difference there.
But
Yeah.
obviously nowadays the dating world is quite different, and the fact that you met him when you were 18, you were so young.
I really, really was. Yeah, but I mean, hey, we're still together. It's our 40th wedding anniversary this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to start dropping hints again. No.
You can go back to the same pub.
No, it's been demolished. They've built houses on it now.
And a final question related to that. Giving him the wrong number, obviously the right number, but the wrong way round. Later that night, did you feel guilty? Did you feel like you'd made a mistake?
I definitely felt I'd made a mistake, but I could hardly go back and say, excuse me, can I just give you the correct number? So I played it a little bit cool as well.
Exactly. Playing hard to get, of course. Interesting. Perfect. Good to hear. Good to hear.
Nearly didn't happen, Lewis. Nearly didn't happen.
Thank God it did. Okay, after that interesting story about how my mum met my dad, let's move on to our favourite topic. Yeah? If you've watched any of these conversations with my mum before, you'll know that both of us are foodies, that we love speaking about food and eating, of course. So, a classic question. Let's imagine you could choose your final meal. So, starter, main dish, and a dessert. Mum, what would you have? And tell us.
Well, I think I would start off with some locally caught scallops, which I like all sorts of seafood. Maybe a bit of pea and mint puree with that. Some nice white wine. Moving on, because I don't stick to just one country. I love prawn biryani. Absolutely delicious. I do have a bit of a reputation for having it as the go-to choice when I go to different Indian restaurants.
Every single time. You don't even have to ask her, if we go to an Indian restaurant, we don't ask Mum what she's ordering. She's like, prawn biryani, right?
I do love a fish pakora as well. But I mean, I am adventurous in other things, but the Indian restaurant, it's the prawn biryani every time. And then I would follow that up with some sort of homemade tiramisu. Okay. Yes, and perhaps a little bit of Prosecco. I'm what they call a lightweight. When it comes to drinking, I can get tipsy very easily. So I'm a really cheap date. Maybe that was another attraction for your dad.
Maybe.
Just thought, hey, 2 wines, she's fine all evening. So and I don't finish off. People have like espresso or something at the end. I don't drink tea or coffee, so
I mean,
I'm good.
That's an interesting thing because obviously you'd start with scallops with some kind of pea and mint puree. You said nice and fresh to kind of cleanse the palate and get you started really. And then the prawn biryani.
Something spicy.
It's spicy, it's filling, it's tasty.
Nice sauce with it.
But you don't drink tea or coffee. However, your go-to dessert is a tiramisu.
I know, that is so weird. It's the only time I don't like coffee to drink. I love the smell. Bruce roasts the beans. He's quite into his coffee, and we have the expensive coffee maker. And each to their own. And I would like to like coffee. I just don't. I don't know why.
Have you tried it recently just to double check to see if your taste buds have changed?
You mean that I've grown up finally?
Finally you're an adult and you have coffee.
No, I haven't actually. So maybe I need to have a little sip or something. But it just doesn't do it for me. I'll just stick fruit juice, smoothie, water. I'm good. Yeah.
And I'm curious, what about you? If you could have your perfect meal, starter, main course, and dessert, what would it be? I think I've mentioned on previous interviews with other teachers that I love everything, so it'd be hard to choose. But a curry is always a good option. A steak, I think, is always a nice option. Like you, my go-to dessert is usually tiramisu or maybe a panna cotta.
Yes.
I also love anything chocolatey.
As long as there's no nuts.
Yeah, no nuts. No peanuts in particular. And then for a starter, I'm quite indecisive, which is why I love the the whole idea and culture around tapas, because you don't have to just pick one. You can pick lots of different ones and like pick at them and nibble on different things. So yeah, I'm being very indecisive, but let us know, what would your starter, main and dessert be? So now moving on to the next question, which it's funny because we recorded our first conversation on YouTube like, I don't know, 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, I don't remember exactly. And we mentioned that my mum had retired. Now, 1 year later, more or less, how is retired life? What's it like having retired fairly recently?
Well, actually, I took early retirement. Just pointing that out. We'll scrap that one.
Right.
I'm not. Just say took. Can you just say I took early retirement?
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready? All right, now moving on. Mum, you took early retirement, so I'm curious, what's life like being retired? And of course, not being that old being retired.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome. What's it like?
It's lovely. It's without the pressures of the work. Not on the Monday morning thinking, gosh, I've got like 5 solid days of working. I was looking after my elderly mum. I was working full time, baby grandson. So I took the early retirement and it started off, it was lovely. I mean, it is still lovely now. Less pressure. Sorry, can we start that again? Because your dad's like looking at me.
All right.
And I was waffling.
It's all right. Okay, ready? Okay, moving on to the next question now. Mum, you took early retirement fairly recently, so I'm curious, what's retired life like?
Oh, I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, thanks for the early bit. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So basically a year ago, I just had enough of working full time, looking after my elderly mum in the evenings, coming home, being tired. We had the baby grandson that had arrived. And I just thought, now is the time. And time is actually more precious than money. But obviously we need the money too. Luckily, we've just got a little bit of pension. We're not particularly extravagant. So just decided to go for it. And also I wanted to help because my little grandson, my daughter was going back to work part-time. And I just wanted that relationship with him as well. So it's not as relaxing as I thought. So obviously I look after the little boy a couple of days a week, which is great because family is so important to me. So yeah, and then obviously I go over and see grandma with my sister, and she's getting older, nearly 90. So that's quite time consuming, really. Now they have an expression called the sandwich generation, which is when you look after elder relations, you look after younger children. Now obviously my children are children, but
grown-ups, adults, completely independent.
Yeah, but obviously I have the grandson, and he's great. And yeah, we've got a bond, and that's what it's all about. But I do try and have, in between everything else, a me day, which sounds really selfish, but I just sometimes, it's nothing major. It's just that one day a week when I don't have commitments, then I'll just meet up with somebody, so I'll just like, do you want to go for, some cake? Use a cake, yeah.
A little cycle maybe, a nice little walk.
Yes, I do cycle on the canal. The canal is just not far away at all, just sort of down the hill. So I'm not keen on the busy roads. I just like to be, nice and flat as well. Canal obviously is flat, so we just, me and some other ladies. I like to say girlfriends because I always think of ourselves as sort of young, but we're all women in our sort of like 50s and 60s now. So
the girls.
The girls. You can say the girls at any age. Trust me. So yeah, that's retired life for me. And sorry.
I mean, it's interesting. I was just going to ask a follow-up question because, of course, when you retire, usually, at least the image I've got in my mind is that you don't know what to do with your time. You're nice and relaxed. You wake up whenever you want. You go for a walk. You have a life of relative luxury, just choosing whatever you want. But I've been back a couple of weeks now, and of course, I'm working during the day, teaching my classes, and a lot of the time, you're out and you're busy and you're doing stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm like, Mum, are you retired or what?
I don't really stop. And obviously when I'm looking after the little baby, you know, I get up really early, 5:45, which probably isn't that early, but, you know, I come back sort of after tea. Obviously when I go to Mum, I make sure she's dressed. And yeah, it's fairly full on. But your dad has taken early retirement now as well. Well, actually, no, he's officially an old age pensioner.
You just wanted to add that in there, right?
Sorry. Oh, no, that's cruel, no. But he's really young. In fact, he was even telling us on some sort of Strava or something that he has the fitness of a 20-something-year-old, which is insane.
Impressive, right?
Yeah. And mine is probably the fitness of an 80-year-old, but hey, we're balanced.
Exactly. And I think it's nice as well. You get to spend a lot of quality time with my nephew and with my grandma as well. Yeah. And spending time with my nephew over the last few days, you can tell that there is this special bond now when he's feeling a bit lonely or stressed or wants to have fun. He'll start saying like, Grandma.
Good advice.
You get this, obviously, from spending quality time with him. Yes, so it's time well spent.
Yes, and it's just a couple of days a week. But yeah, I just want that bond.
Exactly.
Obviously, his mummy and daddy are the most important people in his life. But it's nice to just be a bit of a runner-up as well. Yeah.
Okay. A lovely retired life.
Yeah, and just, it's nice to see my daughter and my hubby as well. So, yeah.
Perfect. Hubby, by the way, means husband.
Yeah, just throwing an abbreviation there. Sorry, I do it without even realising.
Natural.
Oh.
Okay, so now we've answered 3 questions, and I'm sure you've got to know a little bit more about my mum. And we're recording this on a Friday, and we're running out of time. Like, Mum, you got plans, haven't you?
I need to be somewhere in 20 minutes. I'm just going out and meeting somebody for, would you believe it, cake.
Big Friday night.
Yeah, and a chat as well, a catch up.
But Mum, thank you so much for answering the questions again. It's been a pleasure.
I'm always nervous, but hey, I do it for you.
And I'm sure we will do another one of these videos answering some questions in the near future. So if there are any questions that you'd like me or my mum to answer in the next video like this, please let us know in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking forward to it. So thanks for watching and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.